Greater South Texas, I hope you're ready for some more virtual fun. So let's get started with the Girl Scout Promise and the Girl Scout Law. If you don't know the promise or law, you can repeat after me, but if you do know it, definitely say it with me. So let's start with our right hand, pinky down, thumb over our pinky, and we'll say the Girl Scout Promise. On my honor, I will try to serve God and my country, to help people at all times, and to live by the Girl Scout Law. Now let's say the Girl Scout Law. I will do my best to be honest and fair, friendly and helpful, considerate and caring, courageous and strong, and responsible for what I say and do. And to respect myself and others, respect authority, use resources wisely, make the world a better place, and be a sister to every Girl Scout. Now let's get started. Cadet, Senior, and Ambassador Girl Scouts, or CSAs as we like to call them, are ready to take on the world. And with a wider world comes more opportunities. And CSAs want to make the most out of every chance they get to improve themselves and the world. This week, we will be focusing on our Cadet, Senior, and Ambassador Girl Scouts by featuring badges from each of those levels. Not a Cadet, Senior, or Ambassador? Tune in anyway and see the awesome opportunities you have to look forward to as you bridge into the next Girl Scout level. Whatever path you choose, Girl Scouts wants to be there to provide the knowledge and tools you need to shine your brightest. So I hope you're excited for this week and all the awesome adventures we're going to be going on with our Cadet, Senior, and Ambassador Girl Scouts. Stage presence is the ability to be yourself and make a connection with people, even a large group of people. A great presenter is able to make their points clearly and powerfully. And it's a skill that can be used not just on stage and in politics, but in everyday life. And luckily, you don't have to be born with these skills. It's something that you can develop. So today's badge will actually be the Cadette-Public Speaker Badge. This is a badge that I wish I would have been able to earn when I was in Girl Scouts. And I have a wonderful friend who's an expert in stage. So she's going to be sharing her expertise with you all. So I hope you enjoy learning about the Cadette-Public Speaker Badge.
Hi, my name is Beth Cantu and I am a former Girl Scout and I currently work as a theater teacher and director. This means that I get to teach people how to be on stage. I started acting when I was about 8 years old. I actually started because my sister was in high school and she was acting at the time, and I really looked up to her and I wanted to be just like her. And after that first performance, I caught the acting bug. I fell in love with being on stage, and since then I've been in over 60 production over the course of my acting career. I love to act. I love acting because you get to experience the life of a completely different person, a character, and you experience the world through their eyes. And by doing this, you really sort of develop this sense of empathy toward other people and their emotions. And in the real world, this helps you develop better relationships. If you had told me a couple of years ago that I would be directing, teaching people how to perform for a living, I would have been very surprised, because this is definitely not what I expected to be doing. But getting to share my passion and the love for the art of performing theater is one of the most fulfilling things I've ever done, and I love my job. I'd like to talk to you about step 5 of earning your public speaker badge, and that is getting on stage. And one of the most intimidating things about getting on stage is dealing with stage fright or performance anxiety. So today I'm going to share some tips with you on how to combat stage fright and your body's response to it. My first tip for you is to eat smart. Food and drink don't only fuel your body, but they also fuel your mind as well. So before you go on stage, you want to avoid dairy, sugars, fast food, fried foods, or heavy meals, because eating something greasy or heavy can leave you feeling uncomfortable and bloated, which can increase your stress and your anxiety levels. Sugars and dairy also should be avoided because they cause unwanted congestion and phlegm, and you don't want to have to constantly cough and clear your throat while you're on stage. Caffeine is also a very bad choice because it can additionally trigger your symptoms of stage fright, such as a racing heart and sweatiness. But this doesn't necessarily mean that you shouldn't eat or drink anything at all. Many musicals and plays run upwards of 1.5 to about 2 hours long, so neglecting to eat or snack can leave you feeling drained and more exhausted. My pre-show ritual includes a snack of a couple of bananas and a nice warm cup of chamomile tea about 30 to 45 minutes before I go on stage. And during intermission, I'll sometimes have a handful of dry unsalted almonds and a bottle of room temperature water to keep myself fueled and hydrated, because cold water can cause tension in the vocal cords. My next tip for you is to just breathe. Breathing isn't just a response from your body dealing with stress, it's also a key to helping you manage the stress. So if you've ever panted like you were scared when you were actually feeling fine, sort of like, you might notice that when you're done, you're feeling a little bit more anxious or stressed out. So to counter this, it actually means that if you breathe slowly and deeply, you can lower your stress levels. So the part of your nervous system that controls your involuntary functions like your breathing, your heart rate, sweating, and digestion is called the autonomic nervous system, and it's actually split into 2 different parts. So the first part is the sympathetic nervous system. When you're put in an uncomfortable situation, such as being on stage, the sympathetic nervous system tells your body that you're feeling uncomfortable by affecting your hormones. It affects this balance called homeostasis. That's the balance of your hormones in your body. And by doing this, it increases your heart rate and your breathing. And this triggers your fight or flight response, which is an involuntary reaction to being in danger. Suddenly, you're sweating and you either have the urge to run away or not move and hope that the audience doesn't see you. Now, the second part of the autonomic nervous system is called the parasympathetic nervous system, which we call the rest and digest system. So this brings your body back into homeostasis, the hormonal balance, after an episode that is triggered by your sympathetic nervous system. So when you're in fight or flight mode, your body is causing your energy to focus on getting you to safety rather than your initial task that you have to complete on stage. And in order for your body to reach the rest and digest stage, you have to activate it by focusing on deep breathing. So you want to focus on slower, deeper, longer breaths. So to practice this, I draw my breath in slowly through my nose over a course of 10 seconds, and then I'll slowly exhale through my mouth over the course of another 10 seconds. Now, you don't want to take in your air or release your air too quickly, so make sure that each step takes the entire 10 seconds. So focus on expanding your lungs and your belly with each inhale and pushing all of that air out nice and slowly with your exhale. And it may feel uncomfortable at first, but after a while, you'll start to feel your body and your brain relaxing. Now, as simple as breathing may seem, it does take practice to work on deep breathing, but the more that you practice at it, the easier it will become to calm yourself in times of stress. So my favorite and kind of the silliest tip that I like to give to help someone calm down when they're feeling performance anxiety is to shake off their excess nervous energy. I've learned over my time as an actor that exerting some of that extra energy that is caused by the sympathetic nervous system can help me refocus myself on my task. Sometimes just literally shaking it off can help. My friends and I like to have backstage dance parties right before a show. So my final tip for combating stage fright is to practice. I recently was in a musical where I would get very nervous or scared when I would reach a specific point in the show. And during the scene, I'd go into full-on stress mode. I suddenly couldn't remember my lines. I would mix up the words to my song. And I mentioned this to one of my friends, and he told me, Well, are you sure that you know it as well as you think you do? Hold on, let's practice it. And wouldn't you know, I really didn't know it as well as I thought I did. I mean, I had a lot of lines, and it was a moment of high action in the show. The music was difficult, but we hadn't really practiced it as much as we had been practicing some of the other scenes. He spent a few days helping me work through it and clean it up, and I started feeling a lot more comfortable practicing it on stage in front of the others. And eventually I knew the scene very well, and by the time we put the scene on the stage and we performed the show, it became my favorite part of the entire musical. So making sure that you're adequately prepared may seem like an obvious part of the process, but it's extremely essential to make sure that you feel comfortable. And knowing your part well enough that you know that you won't flub or make a mistake can help boost your confidence. So before I go, I'd like to share a small piece of advice. It's okay to be scared. I have a lot of stage experience and I still get absolutely terrified before I go on. But the important thing is not allowing your fear to stop you. Shakespeare once said that all the world's a stage and its people are merely players. Life itself is a performance, so always make sure that you're approaching it with confidence and gusto. Thank you so much for letting me share my experiences with you, and I'd like to wish you all the best, and as we say in the theater, break a leg.
I feel calmer already. Thank you so much to my friend Beth for sharing those wonderful tips and exercises on how to handle stage fright. I definitely encourage you Cadet Girl Scouts to go back and check out the public speaker badge and the remaining steps you need to complete it, and learn how to use this badge to educate and inspire others using your words. I hope you had fun, and I cannot wait for some more virtual fun with you later. We'll see you soon, sisters.